So yeah, the Foxwalker program is something that has started with some local homeschool kids right here in Nevada City in Grass Valley. And you know, a lot of these kids, I think they love to have adventures. So they love going outside, they love going in the woods. The families that have these kids, of course, they are looking for something different.
You just ruined it, Karen! Oh!
I will put it back.
First of all, they live in this area. Second of all, a lot of them homeschool or they go to charter schools. And I remember it was one of the parents that came to this program in the beginning, because some of them were really curious. Well, what are they doing with their kids? And some of them came along and they started watching what was going on. And one of the parents said, well, you know, when they come home, I don't really see what they're doing. And but over time, there is something going on. And one of the parents pointed out, well, they're learning how to be. They're not learning this fact or that fact, but they're learning how to be in the world. They're learning how to be happy with themselves, learning how to be self-sufficient, learning how to be self-confident. They're learning how to think for themselves. That's one of the biggest things.
No, why did you go one way or the other?
All the trees look the same, and they don't to me. I grew up, you know, kind of in the country, and when I go to the city, all the buildings look the same, and all the streets look the same. But when I'm here, I know, like, I can memorize a tree, but I can't memorize a building.
One way that I'd say that we're different than classical environmental education is that tends to be a about something, tends to be head knowledge, and we take the kids and we get them in the woods, in nature, so that their relationship to the environment or our home, the earth, is something that's in their body, and they act from it. It's not something they think about, which I feel a scientific approach would fly over most kids' head.
This is the first flowering plant in the spring. They call them spring beauties. And they're a little blushy pink. This one's kind of in the shade, but you can tell it's a little blushy. In the sun, it'll be a little pinker.
Good story was when we take the kids out and give them a certain confidence about making their own choices. You don't just say, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like when I was with Rick once and these kids wanted to climb this tree that was about ready to fall down, and I'm going, oh, and Rick goes, wait, just wait. Let them choose. Let them choose. And so the kids are crawling up, and no. They get back down. And they're crawling up going, whoa, it's creaky. Okay, they get back down. Pretty soon they're going, yeah, I'm not into that tree. So you gave them the responsibility of making their own choice, which was a big lesson that the kids need to learn stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I did a back handspring. Front handspring. No, if I were you, I would take those shoes off.
Why?
Because those have so bad grip, and they have the cotton on the bottom, so it'll slip off.
Actually, all the cotton's worn off, so.
Oh.
Actually, it doesn't hurt when you fall.
I know.
I don't want to fall.
He was in.
And one of the groups had this girl in it, one of the few girls in this program. And her mother was so proud of her. She's like, oh my God, she was out in the rain making a fire, and they loved it. Most kids, they wouldn't even go out in a storm. They stay home. Oh my God, you're gonna catch a cold. These kids were out here learning how to keep a fire going, learning how to stay hidden, but also just have fun with it.
Up there, top of there.
It started. It started, Mom.
What do you think? What do you think the kids get out of it? What do they like about it, being out here?
I think the
program.
kids like some free time because much of what we do is kind of invisible teaching. It's an invisible school, and we create situations where the kids feel that they're unsupervised and all on their own, and actually they're often responding to us. So we empower the kids that they feel like it's their own thing, and actually it's quite structured most of the time. We also give the kids a sense of improvisation and being in the moment, because while we touch on the same types of subjects all the time, it's never in the same order and never exactly in the same way. So kids get, we're just touching them in a lot of levels and coming at the same teachings from a lot of different ways. So different learning styles will all get met at one point or another in the day.
That's true Indian trail flagging. It's the real thing. Yeah.
We're looking for signs of life.
It's
slime like boogers.
It's a tiny one right here.
My background is when I was a kid, I grew up camping, outdoors, and when I was in my early teenage years, I read a book called The Tracker. And me and my friend were like, oh, he has a school. Well, we're going. So we grew up in California, and the guy who wrote this book lives in New Jersey. So my whole family's like, you're going to go to New Jersey to learn wilderness survival skills? We're like, yep. So we got on the plane, we went to New Jersey, and let's just say after that, it did change my life. The guy there that was teaching Tom Brown, he learned from an old Apache Indian when he was a young boy, and really taught him how to live with the earth without anything from modern society. And when I went there, one of the biggest things it did for me was it relieved all the peer pressure. All the kids that were doing all this stuff in high school were going one way, sort of all following each other. All the parents, all the pressure from the adult world, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And all of a sudden someone was like, hey, look out in wide angle vision. Look other places people aren't, and follow your heart. That was the biggest thing. So I thought, you can live life any way you want, and you only have one life. And so after that, it was like, I'm going to do what I love to do. So really ever since then, which was when I was 15, I have been, in a way, introducing and getting people in nature and in the woods and on an adventure.
And then sometimes you get it like that, you give it a twist. Push on the upper branch, you twist, spin it. But I'd still go that way with it once.
Yeah, go that way.
Just bull rush it. Ready? Hike! Twist it this way, watch out. Stand back now, everyone. There it goes. See it pop out? It's almost done. Hold on. Because the roots are full of water, they snap. There it is.
When we set up with a new roll film, which we should have today, but we don't,
Yeah.
we'll put some bait out. And
Yeah,
we
next
won't,
time we'll bring some
we won't leave a bone because cooked bones aren't good for animals.
Yeah.
Already nature was in me, and this just brought out all these skills that I've always knew that were there and I wanted to do, but nobody ever taught them.
I have been, in a way, introducing and getting people in nature and in the woods and on an adventure. So when we do a program with the kids, it's not like, okay, now we're going to turn your books to page 50. Now we're going to learn about the species of different oaks here, so, we better memorize these. It's more about, we're going to teach you how to make fire by hand. So those are the pieces you need. You need a tender bundle, a handhold, a spindle, a fireboard, and a bow. You, at a certain point, have to learn what woods are what, because that's how you know how to make a fire. So there's a need there. There's a need born out of a passion and an inspiration of doing something fun and being on an adventure.
Didn't you hear me?
No, I made it. This is the one I was working on. No. Oh, the camera's nice.
And the other part of the program is weaving in, I guess, the spirit that moves through all things, which is something that you don't really tell the kids necessarily, but it's part of everything we do, where they're sitting by themselves in the woods, and maybe they're hiding, or maybe they're trying to see what the wood rats are doing, or maybe they're trying to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow when something comes by. But that's what you call learning the quiet mind, learning how to sit still, and then the nature will start to teach you, in a sense, that force.